Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And the war within is pretty much just around the corner. And I wanted to do a check-in with the Beast Mastery specialization and everything that's going on with it in the next expansion to make sure that things are on track for a good time. Now, Beast Mastery is obviously one of the more chill specs in the game, whether you're doing PvE or PvP. It is just kind of a vibe. People want simplicity when it comes to this specialization. So it's, I think, going to be very important that they can maintain that level of simplicity moving into this. And if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, smash the subscribe button. But let's get started. So the main components for Hunter that are going to be moving into this expansion, at least for Beast Mastery, are the hero talents. Now, the first one is Dark Ranger, and this is one that is steeped in lore. But when I tested it on Marksmanship Hunter, if you want to check that video, it'll be linked at the end of this one. It was a little bit lackluster. So let's see if it's any better for Beast Mastery. Now, Black Arrow is a 30-second cooldown. It's a damage over time effect that does shadow damage, and it's going to have a chance to generate you barbed shots, which gives you stacks of haste and let you attack faster. So this component does seem fun. We're going to have to drop combat, of course, before we can really move on from here. Come on, guys. You got to come off the training dummy. I know you're having fun, but we got some work to do here. We got Overshadow, which is going to increase the damage of our barbed shot and kill command by 15%. So some flat-out throughput. Shadow Hounds. Each time Black Arrow deals damage, it's going to have a chance to manifest a Dark Hound. I think that this plays better into Beast Mastery than it does into Marksmanship, specifically when I was going over this, just calling in more beasts in general. Is kind of more of a flavor of BM. Death Shade, when you apply Black Arrow to your target, you will gain the Hunter's Prey effect. And Dark Empowerment, when Black Arrow resets the cooldown of an ability, you're going to gain 15 focus. Or when a target affected by Black Arrow dies, the cooldown of Black Arrow will be reduced by 12 seconds. Now, uptime of Black Arrow was a problem for Marksmanship Hunter. Perhaps this would be enough to address it in things like Mythic Plus. Bit worried about like lower keystone levels in dungeons where you like apply this, the target dies before you really get any benefit, and then it's just on cooldown for a really long time. So I could see that being a problem in those environments. And then in PvP, it's just seems like it doesn't really have a lot of uptime was the main problem, but I think for this instance we'll be running this because we can't kill any targets on the training dummy. You heal for 15% of all the shadow damage dealt by you and your pets, so some passive self-sustain. Or Exhilaration is going to grant you 3 seconds of survival of the fittest, and vice versa. Survival of the fittest is going to activate Exhilaration at 50% effectiveness. This is similar to the warrior talent where when you avatar, I think you Bladestorm, and then when you Bladestorm you avatar. This gives you a little bit of extra durability and tankiness in certain situations if you want to time before a big hit is about to hit you. Hunter already has some of the best defenses when it comes to PvE with Aspect of the Turtle, being able to move and immune to damage, but in PvP its defenses are weaker, so this could likely help shore up that. Some of the cooldown reduction on your baseline talents as well to make these abilities a shorter cooldown to get the double stacked benefit could be really cool. So I'm thinking Smokescreen will probably be very good in those environments at higher keystone levels in PvP, but if you just want to passively heal yourself and just go pull to pull in solo content, that Embrace the Shadows will probably be where you go. Maybe if you fight like encounters where it's not high burst damage, it's just high sustain situations, you could run with that. So I like the choice between these two. Dark Chains, I tried this as MM. A 40% snare is just really pathetic. And we'll see what it looks like as BM. Maybe it's been updated again. We are still in alpha, but it was really lackluster. Now, Shadow Lash. When Call of the Wild is active, Black Arrow deals damage 50% faster. This is a big timing for cooldown windows. Call of the Wild is really important in PvP and PvE. It's a super powerful component of damage for Beast Mastery, so getting more damage during that window is likely going to be very good. Shadow Surge. When multi-shot hits a target affected by Black Arrow, a burst of shadow energy erupts, dealing moderate shadow damage to all enemies near the target, and this can only occur every 6 seconds. So just passive pad AoE damage onto your multi-shot. Going to be really desirable in things like Mythic Plus, possibly in Battlegrounds. We'll test it out here on the dummies to see how effective it is, because normally in PvP you don't even talent into multi-shot. So this may be a dead one for PvP, but in PvE, that's probably going to be very strong. Darkness Calls. All shadow damage you and your pets deal is increased by 10%. Or Kill Shot has a 15% chance to generate a charge of Barbed Shot when used on a target affected by Black Arrow. Both of these don't seem spectacular, especially considering if Black Arrow isn't up. I think maybe we'll see how much damage it does really to try and figure out how good that's going to be. Withering Fire, when Black Arrow resets the cooldown of aim shot or barb shot, a barrage of shadow arrows are just going to hit the target. I'm really curious to see what the effects look like for this, because I think that's an important part for people who are playing. They don't even really care about the throughput. They just want this to feel like they're playing Sylvanas, right? Am I wrong with that? Let me know in the comments down below. So we'll see what that feels like. So we got multi-shot to proc this. We can summon in Dark Hounds as Black Arrow deals damage. And let's just see what like the uptime of it feels like. Oh, we got to get Black Arrow onto our action bar here as well. So we'll put Black Arrow up onto the guy. We'll pop Call of the Wild, because that's going to help us trigger more procs. During this, we reset Barb Shot. I didn't really even notice that Shadow Arrow, but it's kind of hard to tell whether or not it's like a barb shot that reset from my talents versus a barb shot that has reset from the Black Arrow. So it's a little bit tough to say, but you'll see like the Black Arrow falls off and then it just has such a long cooldown. You're sitting here for like 10 seconds with no Black Arrow on the target. It would be cool if the cooldown reduction on your abilities like Barb Shot and Kill Command worked or interacted in some sense, I think, with Black Arrow to get it so that you could like get 100% uptime on it if you're able to time it. The multi-shot Shadow Burst, you get like this little explosion. You can see it right there. It's very minor. And it can only occur every 6 seconds, so like you almost don't even really notice it because it's only happening every 6 seconds. Like right there, that little Shadow Burst. There's my Dark Hound. We can see him charging in. He's kind of getting surrounded by all the other pets that I'm summoning in and almost forgotten. Oh, we actually got 2 Dark Hounds. So let's see how much damage the Dark Hounds are doing relative to like maybe some of our other normal pets, because I think this is going to be kind of important in terms of the overall damage. So Black Arrow, it's hitting about as hard as a Master Marksman proc. It's kind of not good, right? Like obviously tuning is something subject to change, but this is like I'm just directly comparing it to already existing abilities. Shadow Surge, which I believe was my multi-shot, hit for about like 13k. Why am I still attacking the mob, dude? Stop it. Chill out, bro. Calm down. Shadow Surge, not really doing too much damage. Like Barb Shot's critting like 13,000. So the extra abilities on this are doing, I would say, substantially less. Shadow Arrow, Black Arrow seems to be doing almost nothing. 2,600 damage seems very low. It's lower than even just like random procs. So the tuning on this definitely, I think, needs to be upped a bit. I'm concerned about the uptime on Black Arrow. The animations do not seem visually stimulating. Like I don't feel like I'm Sylvanas. So let's see what the disengage looks like, if it's been updated at all at this point. So we pin these shadow chains onto the target. I would really love if disengage turned you into a cloud of shadow like Sylvanas when she goes into Wraith mode and she's flying around the map like that. I think that could be really sick, just as a visual animation for it. I don't know how practical or how realistic that is with the release of the expansion, but I'm feeling like this is kind of lackluster. I'm a bit worried about the gameplay. The uptime of the Black Arrow seems really inconsistent. It's hard to tell whether the reset on the Black Arrow is coming from your baseline kit or from this, because those are effects that are stacking with each other. And then the actual just like effects of this just don't seem fantasy inducing enough for me. So I really think Dark Ranger needs to step up if it's going to fulfill the actual expectation for Dark Ranger. And I feel like this is an important one, man. There's a lot of people who want to play Sylvanas. Like this needs to be better than this, and at the moment. So those are my thoughts for this. We got the Pack Leader, which is one that I haven't spent a lot of time looking at. So it's going to be kind of like a first time reaction, seeing how it's going moving forward. How does it fit into the kit for this? This is available for Survival Hunter and Beast Mastery. Vicious Hunt. Kill Command prepares you to viciously attack in coordination with your pet, dealing additional physical damage with your next Kill Command. So just adding more damage on the Kill Command. Pack Coordination, attacking with Vicious Hunt, instructs your pet to strike with their basic attack alongside your next Barbed Shot. So just more damage on your base rotation, basically. Howl of the Pack, your pet's basic attack, critical strikes, increase your critical strike damage by 5% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, so stacking up crit. That's going to be really powerful Beastmaster Hunter. I remember Beastmaster Hunter and BFA was really strong when the Corruptions came out, and they could stack a ton of crit, and they were like the best Mythic Plus spec in the game when that happened. So this is a pretty substantial amount of crit if you can get it stacked 3 times. Wild attacks, every third pet basic attack is guaranteed critical strike, with damage further increased by critical strike chance. So a lot of crit modifiers here. This is looking really strong throughput wise. Aspect of the Turtle, Survival of the Fittest, and Men Pet heal the target for 20% of their maximum health over 4 seconds, and the duration is increased by 1 second when healing a target under 50% maximum health. So you get extra healing, extra self-sustain. It's more burst oriented. Tireless Hunt, aspect of the Cheetah, now increases movement speed by 15% for another 8 seconds. So you get a longer duration aspect of the Cheetah. This is going to be good in PvE where you're not getting snared, but in PvP, unless you're synergizing this with Master's Call, you're just going to get snared for the remaining amount of speed of this. You're probably not going to notice it too much. Cornered prey, disengage increases the range of all of your attacks by 5 yards for 5 seconds. That's kind of cool. Getting an extra 5 yards to be able to land an interrupt on somebody that's really far away, or a mob, or being able to kite out of range of a mechanic. I think that seems much more powerful. But in PvE, obviously, movement is everything. And Beastmaster is one of the most mobile, if not the most mobile spec while you're doing your rotation in the game. Frenzied Terror. Your pet's basic attacks have a 20% chance to reset the cooldown and cause kill command to strike a second time for 30% of the normal damage. So again, more focus on kill command. Scattered Prey, multi-shot increases the damage of your next multi-shot by 25%. Kill command increases the duration of your beast cleave by 1 second, which is very curious because when you use Call of the Wild, you get the beast cleave effect during that time. So that could be a lot of extra AoE damage. Beast cleave does a lot of damage. Even in PvP, in small target situations, it does a lot of damage. So I'm thinking that's going to be really good. Call the Herd, kill shot deals an additional 30% damage over 6 seconds and increases the bleed damage you and your pet deal to the target by 25%. Okay, so focusing in on bleed damage with this one. Furious Assault, consuming Frenzied Tear has a 50% chance to reset the cooldown of Barb Shot and deal 30% more damage. Or we can get Bestial Wrath, calls on the pack, summoning a pet from your stable. So if you just want to call in even more pets, you can call in even more pets. This probably really depends on, I don't know. Barb Shot can do a lot of damage. I'm thinking Barb Shot is probably what I would want to go with. But again, it depends on tuning. Pack Assault, Vicious Hunt and Pack Coordination now stack and apply twice and are always active during Call of the Wild. Okay, so you're gonna need to. I think Call of the Wild is it a passive now? Let me see. Did they change that? Where's Call of the Wild? Or are we gonna have to talent into that? No, Call of the Wild is this. What am I saying? Call of the Wild is that. I'm a little disappointed, honestly, from a fantasy standpoint. Like, this is supposed to be Sylvanas and this is supposed to be Rexxar. So like, I got no throwback to Rexxar at all from this. It would have been cool if this was like summon in one of Rexxar's, the spirit of Rexxar's legendary beasts, like Leok and Misha and Huffer, you know, the Quillboar and the bear and the wyvern, like the 3 main pets for Rexxar that are used in Hearthstone. They were in Warcraft 3. There should be some throwback to Leok and some throwback to Huffer and some throwback to Misha for Rexxar, because from just like a purely fantasy standpoint, this is the most generic AI generated, just like basic hunter ability, throughput increasing, no flavor talent tree. Like, I'm sure functionally it's a good talent tree, but as far as fantasy is concerned, I don't get anything from Warcraft from this. This is just, I'm getting more throughput on my talents. I really think there needs to be more applied to this, but let's just see like rotationally, functionally how this feels in comparison to the other one. So with this one, we're going to get a lot more kill command damage. Let's get our Barb Shot stacks going up, work on getting the resets, do a little Call of the Wild, get all of our pets going in here and see how it feels. So does this feel any different than, you know, just like your regular rotation of BM Hunter is another one? Are we noticing like fantasy standpoint, has anything like enhanced? I think we're getting some procs and stuff, like a little bit of extra crit. This mostly just feels like an overall throughput increase to the specialization. So like, I mean, it's probably going to be powerful, but when you're looking at some of the animations and some of the spells that other specs are getting, I feel like I'm just playing Dragonflight BM Hunter right now, to be real. Like, this just feels totally normal. I don't really notice much differently rotationally. I don't notice much visually. I'm really trying to pay close attention in case I'm missing something, and if I miss something, let me know. That looks substantially different as a Beast Mastery Hunter player, but this kind of just feels like Dragonflight BM Hunter with bigger numbers is basically how I'm vibing with this, which honestly is kind of a disappointment, right? Like I said, like, this is Rexxar. This is Sylvanas. This needs to be way better, man. This needs to be way better. I'm just saying that right now. This needs to be way better from a fantasy standpoint, from a cool aspect, right? Like, if I see a video of this talent tree, you know, you've seen some of my reactions to some of the other ones. Like, I'm pretty poggers when something is like visually appealing and I feel steeped in fantasy. I'm not getting that with this one. I am not getting that with this one. These two need way more work. Dark Ranger Pack Leader, these ones need way more work, so that we can have a substantial visual difference. Maybe the visuals just aren't updated yet, but having read that Pack Leader talent tree, it seems like those are pretty, like, you know, set in stone mechanics. I don't know what, like, how much more visual you can add to that. It's just extra kill command damage, and your pet's going to attack a little bit of an extra time or something when you kill command, which you can like barely notice on the training dummy if it's even happening at all. So I don't know about this one. The Pack Leader just seems like generic just damage enhancing effects, and there's not enough flavor with this one. I hope that they can ramp this up for you guys, because honestly, like I'm a bit disappointed in these two from a fantasy standpoint. So hopefully they're gonna up these. If you guys want to make sure you're staying up to date with changes, once again, smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you for tuning into the video, and I will see you in the next one.